Good morning. I have a million things to cover this morning, not nearly enough time. There is 60 minutes on the clock. I have nothing pulled up. I have nothing ready. And there are so many links I need to get to. So we're going to start with the first link. This link came from yesterday. Yesterday, there was this interesting sort of event where Paul Vander Clay did like a 10-year review. And I'm not that, well, I like history. I'm certainly nothing like a historian. I think I like history because I'm interested in what the future holds. And I do deeply believe that history is one of the best paths to see the future. So in that sense, I was deeply intrigued by PVK's 10-year review. So I want to start there. We got to get to the screen. I have the link. Jordan Peterson's illness prompts reflection. Share that. We'll see how this goes. Okay, now we got to get it on the stage. I am on the stage, the screen is on the stage, and there is no one in the chat room. But I'm going to talk to you as if there are 30 people in the chat room. My voice will not give away that there is no one in this chat room, and I am speaking. What am I speaking to? Because I'm not talking to myself. I'm speaking to a potential audience. How twisted is that? But I guess, we do this all the time, right? We think about things and we go, it's not real yet. It's not real, but I can speak it into existence. And in some sense, it's really not that twisted because there is something about being human and being created by a creator who spoke the world into existence that we have this very peculiar ability to speak things into existence. I still remember when I asked Jane to marry me. I spoke something into existence that day. So did she. We both spoke it together. I'm going to take back saying speaking to a potential chat room is twisted. We're gonna wind that back, and we're actually going to say it can be twisted, but it can also be beautiful to say something and to not know who's going to hear it, and then to go, well, whoever hears it, maybe it will mean something. So let's get with PVK. I have two of these, and they both have fronts and backs, so you know it's going to be a problem. PVK 1611. 1611. Oh, I remember what I wrote down as my note. So I'm excited to see this. Let's what's up, Olson? Good morning, my friend. Let's start. Let's just get set. Okay. I don't even have the VNA branding up. I just need a couple of these. This is like my ritual. It's like my Hail Mary. I just need a few of these. And then let's start with the Psalm.
Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night. He is like a tree planted by streams of water that yields its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither. In all that he does, he prospers. The wicked are not so, but are like chaff that the wind drives away. Therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked
Also, I really got to give you a shout out because, it's Saturday morning and you and I are still, we're still up. Most folks, sleep in, you know? This is going to be a quiet morning, I expect, but it's good to see you. I dropped a link in the chat for you. If anyone else clicks that link, I probably won't let them on, but I will let you on. Because in the words of CW, I'm just going to keep repeating this. I'm going to keep commenting at places everyone needs to know. In the words of CW, and in my own words, Olson is a true luminary of the TLC. All right. Paul Vanderklay, what do you have for us this morning?
Productive worldview that men basically suffered from nihilistic induced depression. Their lives lacked meaning. And as their lives lacked meaning, they increasingly ate meaning junk food, which tended to be things like porn and video games, because we are eminently hackable. And these are the kinds of things that hack us all the time, which is why this vision of a humanity united in foundationally derived, first principles derived rationality and morality built on rationality, that somehow we will, that whole picture of the world doesn't adequately address the meaning crisis, because there's no, is it going to be negative utilitarianism where we just make sure there's no suffering? That's easily done with some cocaine and a bullet chaser. That will, and if you knew nothing before you were born and you'll know nothing after you die, then, as the existentialist said, the only real question we have left is whether or not to kill ourselves. So I think people at a deep level, many people understood that worldview offered them nothing. And a lot of what Jordan did was come around and say, now let's take a step back and look at how humanity has survived the brutalities of this world. And let's look at the patterns that have been built into ancient myths, ancient stories, and of course, there's his book, Maps of Meaning, which, like We Who Wrestle with God, is a tortured.
Okay, we don't need to discuss maps of meaning. Man, I got caught in my throat. My throat did not want to say the word meaning. Goodness. I think what PVK is saying is really interesting, and I relate to it deeply. I relate to just watching porn and playing video games. There have been periods of my life where that is what I did, and they were not meaningful periods of my life. And I relate to the existentialist question of, well, are you just going to kill yourself? I've been thinking about that question because I've been thinking about why I didn't do that. I never got into like a phase of ideation. But I have what I call like the Hamlet moment, where you put the skull on the table and you like stare at it and you go, is this worth it? Do I want to keep living? And that was kind of like, in some sense, that was the end of my deconstruction, was to put the skull on the table. Because when I was 25, every question had an answer that led to God. And if I didn't have an answer, I could just be like, well, like God knows, so I don't need to know. And that worked for if I'm lucky, a quarter of my life. And 25% of the entire time you're alive is not an insignificant amount of time. Now, some of that's childhood, sure. But like, I had a good childhood, so I'm not complaining about that. How then do we live? And I love PVK's framing that Jordan Peterson took a step took a step backwards. And then to view, look at the brutality of humanity. We've made it here. But that question, what I wrote down is, then how will you live? And I think, to me, like, I believe in a creator, and I follow Yeshua, the wild Galilean, the anointed one. I follow him as a rabbi. I follow him as a king. Like, I follow his way. And as compelling as so much of Jordan Peterson is, that the giant question, like, then how will you live? For me, that question is bound up in the way. And without the way, which is like a pattern above all other patterns, perhaps you can build a dam against nihilism, but like, nihilism will return, and it will just, like, whatever you've constructed, it will just pick apart, And I think about that parable of, like, building a house on sand versus a house on, like, rock. And in some sense, like, the best of Peterson is still a house on sand if Peterson's at the top of your hierarchy. And it might be a good house and it might last for 10 years, but it's still a house on sand. And for me, like, it's been 1 year of coming back to faith, of following Jesus again. But it feels like having a house on rock. That's what it feels like to me. Olson, what does it feel like to you?
What am I feeling? Morning?
Morning.
I'm not sure. What does what feel like to me?
Well, I was saying how, for me, the best of Jordan Peterson still felt like building a house on sand, and how I returned to faith a year ago, and it feels like I am building a house on rock. And like, I know that nihilism will return, and it will try to, like, scrabble up the rock. But I'm not sure that I could experience deconstruction again.
Maybe you've been like inoculated, like with a virus. Like you caught the fever, but it broke, and now you're kind of immune to it.
Well, I wonder about that because, perhaps if there's like 25 years from now, something else will happen. Or 15, 18 years, like, I'm not in my midlife yet, so I haven't had a midlife crisis yet. And maybe I got my midlife crisis early. I'm not sure. Maybe there's a crisis every quarter of your life.
Yeah. John Mayer says quarter life crisis.
So you got 3 of them, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
CW, I would love for you to come on and tell me what differentiation phase is.
Oh, yeah, I've never heard of that.
I mean, I've heard of it, but I could not articulate it. Okay, so we got to keep moving. Olson, I want to play this next clip from PBK, which is at 57 minutes.
Okay. I did have a question for you concerning dinner with Andre.
Yeah, go for it.
Unless you want to do 57 first.
No, you go first.
Like, as you were talking on the theme, I couldn't help but thinking about like your time going to California and doing that, and then going up to Alaska and all that. That's kind of like, was that kind of like your own little Andre time?
I mean, I had 8 years of Andre.
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah, I mean, because I was working in a mega church, and then I needed to run away because I didn't believe anything anymore, and I didn't know what to believe or how to believe or like what could hold belief. I mean, I had like I really had nothing left in terms of like belief structure. And so I had two groups of friends that were moving to LA. So I just packed everything I owned into my car. I got there early. So me and another guy, we lived out of our cars as like just homeless people basically for 2 months, which is a long time to be homeless. We found a homeless community behind a Planet Fitness, and the man in the yellow cab taught me how to do EBT. But it was tricky because I was still working for the mega church, but remote. So I didn't want my new homeless friends to know that I had a lot of money because I still had a job.
Yeah.
And then I didn't want the rest of society to know that I was living behind a Planet Fitness talking to the man in the yellow cab. And, so it was complicated for 2 months.
Yeah. Sounds pretty complicated. Like, I mean, living out of a car itself is complicated and stuff as well, and then trying to hold on to two different worlds while doing that. I mean, that's a full-time job in and of itself.
Well, so then we got an apartment. We got a 2-bedroom with 5 guys, and we're all trying to be actors and directors and writers. So everybody was running around all the time, and the house was full of just strangers, basically constantly. Because in LA, you're always mingling, you're always mixing, you're always meeting new people because you never know who's going to give you your big break. So you give everybody a chance to give you a big break, and everyone just wants your money, really.
Yeah. What part of LA were you in?
Culver City.
Okay.
So there was
That's
this
north, right?
north.
What freeway was it by?
I mean, I was right by the Culver City stairs in the Sony studio. I could walk to the Sony studio,
Okay, yeah. So that's North LA.
like north
You're
of
by
downtown,
Hollywood, right? Ish.
ish.
Yeah.
I mean, everything was, like because I always describe Chicago as like a collection of neighborhoods, where LA is like a collection of cities, and I
Or
don't
highways.
really, yeah. I mean, I worked in Santa Monica on the pier at a like boutique film theater, and then I also worked in West Hollywood at a Orthodox Jewish school.
As one does.
As one does, yeah. So, yeah, my time in LA was like, I met a number of movie stars and a number of rabbis, which that's pretty much the full LA experience.
Did you meet Jacob?
Nope. I mean, maybe.
Please. Yeah,
I
maybe. Not
I
that you
could
know.
I could have served him popcorn if he ever goes to ArcLight Santa Monica. Then there's a high chance I served him popcorn, or I swept his seat after he left popcorn in his seat, or I introduced the movie as the projectionist. Yeah, there's a chance. What did you do in Los Angeles?
Well, I didn't spend much time in Los Angeles. I spent a year in a town just north of Los Angeles called Ojai. I
Wait,
worked
call
at
what?
Ojai, Ojai, Ojai.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's like a artsy town. Rod H knows of it. He has friends there. And who's the apologist? Gavin? Gavin? Is that his name?
Portland?
Yeah, Ortland. He worked there, but he was there after I was there.
Oh.
I made it cool. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't make it cool.
Kevin Ortland follows you around the country. You are a true luminary of TLC. We have a famous Christian apologist just chasing you around the country.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, he's gonna move down south soon. In a couple of years. Because I was in Illinois too, and then he's in Illinois. So, coincidence?
No, not coincidence. Gavin Ortland is following you around the country. Speaking of Gavin Ortland following you around the
I
country,
see the assassins have failed. I am
Ethan
I don't know where
Kahi
that could go.
and Have We Got a Show for You? Okay. Was there more to your question, Olson?
Am I supposed to say my name now? You said your name, so Olson.
Well, no, I'll set you up. Ready?
I see the
What?
assassins have failed. I am.
That was your shot right there.
What was my shot?
To say Olsen.
Olsen.
That was no. I was playing the thing just for you. I already did the thing. Okay, we're gonna do
You
it
did
again.
a thing. I didn't hear a thing.
You didn't hear this?
I see the assassins have failed. I am.
Wait, you never heard Grim Grizz say, "I see the assassins have failed."
Oh no. Mm-mm. I didn't hear that.
Seriously, I played it 3 times.
3 times I didn't hear it.
Wait, do you hear that?
Grimgris. Oh, I hear that music.
So you hear the music, but you don't hear the sounds.
I see the assassins have failed. I am.
Seriously.
CD,
Huh.
can you hear the CD hear the sounds? Is it just me? Maybe it's just me.
I don't know. Let me see the comments. Teasing simultaneous sip. Are you drinking anything right now?
Yeah, I got my coffee.
Okay. We can do a simultaneous sip.
3, 2, 1. Yeah.
Wait, did
Who
you
is
sip
that?
any?
Who's that
Did you
guy
sip-
that passed that they did that?
Did you sip anything?
Yeah, I sipped some.
I couldn't even see a sip. Okay. Oh wait, no, you go. I know you go too fast.
It's so hot.
Yeah, mine's pretty hot too. I have tea. I have black tea this morning.
Oh, just
Um,
black tea. It's like English black.
I think it's Earl Grey.
Yeah, Earl Grey. Yeah, that's not black tea. That's not English black. You know, there's a people
What's the difference?
like different type of tea leaf, like the different herbs that go in there. I don't know. There's a difference.
Okay, Olsen, we have 38 minutes, and I have like 19 clips that we have to
All
get
right.
to.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, so this is PBK at 57 minutes, talking about politics.
As Jordan increasingly became much more of a political figure, a lot of that changed, and there were times when people who had sort of been won over by Jordan because he seemed to really understand the dilemmas that they lived in. As we got closer, as the second wave continued to develop, things were more and more political. He seemed less and less understanding of the challenges of many young men, the admonition to.
I just think it's interesting how TLC has followed the waves of Peterson. And I think that TLC is now for the first time in a wave post Peterson. That's the nod in agreement.
Yeah. No, I don't have anything to add. No,
Okay.
we're going to share.
To continue to pray for him if you're a person who prays, I think is a good one. I certainly continue to pray for Jordan. What was I going to say about this? Well, it's in God's hands. Maybe that's enough. So
I wonder what PBK prays for Jordan.
video I was thinking.
Like as he's praying for Jordan, what's he praying for?
I mean, do Calvinists pray for things beyond like the will of God to be done? Like, I'm not a Calvinist, so I don't mean that rudely even. I think Brett's in the chat, so I feel like Brett is going to comment very quickly.
Yeah, Brett, shoot us straight.
Because like as a Calvinist, would it be a waste of energy to pray for specific things? Or do I have like a completely bad perception of Calvinism?
Yeah, yeah. I think you probably have it simplified. I mean, there's a really great book of prayers that I have. I'm trying to remember something in the valley, shadow in the valley, or something like that. It's a collection of Puritan, obviously then Calvinist prayers. I
Are
highly recommend
Puritans or Calvinists?
it. Mhm.
Interesting. Okay.
I think so. Because Jonathan Edwards, right? Wasn't he a Puritan Calvinist?
I mean, clearly, you're talking to the wrong person here. I was really hoping Brett was
John.
going to help out in the
John
chat,
Owen.
but Brett's probably driving somewhere, you know. So
Sinners in the hands of angry God. Yeah, that's a Calvinist.
oh, here we go. Pray for what you believe God's will would line up with, but I always finish it with, ultimately, we pray for your will. So I was not crazy to say that, coming from a student studying Calvinism and also a grown man.
Right. Yeah, you pray for the will, but you're still, I would say they still actively participate. Like there's still active participation. Like you're calling down God's attention towards something.
Yeah, soul, health, prosperity seems good. Okay, prosperity. So Calvinism is just a prosperity gospel. I just couldn't resist. I apologize. I apologize. I couldn't resist. Okay, I want to go a little further with PVK's reflection on the last 10 years.
Thinking about making, but just sort of a retrospective on a lot of videos, a lot of thinking about Jordan and his work. And you know, maybe one thing to say that's important to say. You know, I think his work in the time was really important. And I'm not saying that to say it isn't important now. But I said right from the start, the man and the moment found each other. Now, questions of legacy are super hard to know because just a tiny fraction of human beings who do absolutely important and consequential things are remembered. Movement. When I look at most of the little channels here, they have little followings, but they develop community in their little followings. And, you know, I said to Luke did a live stream this week. He hadn't done a live stream for quite a while before this. And, you know, he's got a lot going on in his life, which he's not going to share online, which is absolutely appropriate. But, and there's no big secret in there or anything. I mean, it's just, his kids are growing up. He's got all the same challenges and anxieties as you would expect him to have of a father of children at the age that they are at the, you know, there's nothing, but he's, you know, he kind of came into that live stream a little erratic and hot and all over the place. And I could tell by the end of the live stream, just the rhythm and the repetition and the community and the friendship. He was virtually not alone. There's a real value. And I see that all over the TLC. And so I'm going to be in Austin, Texas in May.
The one thing that is in this clip that I just can't wait for any longer is PVK talks a lot about estuary. And I think some folks like that if you're engaged with the internet stuff, but you're not engaged with the estuary stuff, then there's some like disconnect because so much of PVK's heart is for estuary, which I think is awesome. And he mentioned how there's all these little channels. And yesterday morning I didn't stream and I woke up and there was all kinds of stuff going on because there was Skankenstein at a campground. There was our very own Olson streaming. Scott streamed. Brett streamed. Skankenstein's posting more videos from campgrounds and wild places. And there's like a whole bunch of new streamers that, you know, perhaps folks don't know about. Olson, then Brett.
I was going to say morning, Brett.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, you're there was yeah, people trying stuff. I just tried something because I saw Scott tried it and I was like, hey, I want to try that too. And that was that was You know, like you see a kid do a wheelie, and you're like, "Hey, can I do a wheelie?" So that was just, yeah. I think, I mean, my wife and I had a long discussion last night, and I won't bore you with those details, but we did talk about like my participation in the TLC some, and I was telling her, because she's worried that this is like some radicalizing community and everything, and I'm like, the videos are up there, please watch them. They're good videos. Well, most parts are good. Um, and 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 so like I was encouraging her, being open with it, and but I also told her, there's been multiple times within the last couple months where like I'm wrestling with something and my heart attitude isn't good, but even just listening or participating in this community has helped me uh, reorient those hard attitudes to a good place. But at the same time, like this morning at like 7, the church we've been kind of visiting is having like a men's breakfast, and so my wife wants me to go. Well, I kind of want to go, but I don't want to meet. I don't want to have to sit and like make small talk with people. And but so anyways, there's also the need for, like you were saying, estuary, like real life interaction, because there's like there's something real to be said about being able to physically help somebody. Like when we were moving, you offered to physically help move. Like that would have been really hard for you, but you still offered that. And so there's something to be said about physical space. But just as Chris Howard likes to to say, like virtual space is still real life. Like this is my real life. I'm really spending my life
Mm-hmm.
talking to you over this thing, right? And so um and it's been interesting, being in the TLC has also helped me start reaching out to my friends who have been a bad long distance friend to, and
Mm.
trying to open up those lines of communication again, because I've been a bad long distance friend. So I don't know. That was rambling. I'm sorry. Brett?
If I boot you off the screen and ban you from the chat, is that going to increase the chance that you go to the pancake breakfast?
I mean, I was gonna go.
You're going to go?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then I won't boot you off the screen and ban you from the chat.
Yeah. I mean, you can. That's your. I'd probably do it.
Brett, you have 60 seconds, and then I'm going to play Brett on screen. So just be warned.
Too much, Brett.
Not enough,
No.
Brett.
Oh, please. I tell you, I was thinking about this last night. I had a conversation with Scott, and one of the coolest things about our community, our arena, however you want to phrase it, is you find people that you really connect with, and even the people you don't really connect with, you still try to reach out to them. And I think what's cool about it is there's this active participation on both parties to engage each other, and which is different than like me linking up with old friends, because I might call an old friend of mine and be like, "Hey, man, haven't seen you in a while. We catch up for a little bit, and then we don't talk to each other again for a long time." And it's usually me, the one volleying it over the net, and I never feel like I'm getting served back. You know what I mean? So I think this space is different because there's this active participation in the game. You know what I mean? Like I was thinking about the pancake breakfast you were talking about, so I was laughing. I'm like, I wish a lot of you guys did live a lot closer, But who knows? Maybe I'm better in small doses.
What state are you in, Brett?
South Florida.
Okay.
There's
I'm
somebody
link-
else down there.
Yeah, I'm linking up with Matt C. Matt C's down
Matt
here.
C. That's it. Yeah, Matt C.
And
Yeah.
Henry's somewhere in Florida.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Maybe North Florida, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm going to play this Brett on Claire at 45 seconds. And then after this little 45-second thing, I made my first piece of branding, which is actually, I stole it later from Claire's stream. So I don't know if Claire will approve or not. I might find out. But this is Brett and Claire on Claire's stream at 45 seconds, followed by some new Kahi Classic branding.
You were contradicting me.
Well, it's funny because a lot of the people in the TLC, there's a lot of Catholic, Orthodox, and what other ones? Probably some other ones that that do probably believe that you have to choose the good and evil, the good and evil.
Mhm.
And in my tradition, that's not how we see it. Now, I'm not an easy believism Christian. You know what that means, right? You've heard that term before?
You're a Calvinist, and therefore you believe in predestination, and you don't believe in sola scriptura. You believe
No, I do.
You do?
Yeah,
I
sola
thought you were
scriptura.
the sola fide. Is that the right
No.
expression?
No, it's the 5 solas. I believe all 5, but it's sola scriptura, sola gloria, sola fide, sola Christo, sola gloria.
Right. There's a lot of only.
Solos. I
Yeah.
know. A lot of people get confused because it implies if you say only more than one time, that would insinuate the logical person would be like, wait a minute. That's a lot of onlys. It's kind of like the free will thing, right? How do you have free will if God's willing? And we can talk about that after. But what I said about Christians don't believe that. I believe that most Christians don't believe it's just choosing the good versus choosing the evil. And what I meant by that was it had to do with walking in God's path, walking what He chooses and desires for us. So it's not about, and I'll get to the Calvinistic part. But it's not about us. I have to choose the good. It's really about choosing Christ, right? Now,
my God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from saving me? So far from the words of my groaning? Oh my God, I cry out by day, but you do not answer. By night, and am not silent. Yet you are enthroned as a Holy One. You are the praise of Israel. In you our fathers put their trust. They trusted, and you delivered them. They cried to you and were saved. In you they trusted and were not disappointed. But I am a worm and not a man, scorned by men and despised by the people. All who see me mock me. They hurl insults, shaking their heads. He trusts in the Lord. Let the Lord rescue him. Let him deliver him, since he delights in him. Yet you brought me out of the womb. You made me trust in you, even at my mother's breast. From birth I was cast upon you. From my mother's womb you have been my God. Do not be far from me, for trouble is near, and there is no one to help. Many bulls surround me, strong bulls of Bashan encircle me. Roaring lions tearing their prey, open their mouths wide against me. I am poured out like water, and all my bones are out of joint. My heart has turned to wax, it has melted away within me. My strength is dried up like a potsherd, and my tongue sticks to the roof of my mouth, and you lay me in the dust of death. Dogs have surrounded me, a band of evil men has encircled me. They have pierced my hands and my feet. I can count all my bones. People stare and gloat over me. They divide my garments among them, and cast lots for my clothing. But you, O Lord, be not far off. O my strength, come quickly to help me. Deliver my life from the sword, my precious life from the power of the dogs. Rescue me from the mouth of the lions. Save me from the horns of the wild oxen. I will declare your name to my brothers. In the congregation I will praise you. You who fear the Lord, praise him. All you descendants of Jacob, honor him. Revere him, all you descendants of Israel, for he has not despised or disdained the suffering of the afflicted one. He has not hidden his face from him, but has listened to his cry for help. From you comes the theme of my praise in the great assembly. Before those who fear you will I fulfill my vows. The poor will eat and be satisfied. They will seek the Lord. They who seek the Lord will praise him. May your hearts live forever. All the ends of the earth will remember and turn to the Lord, and all the families of the nations will bow down before him. For dominion belongs to the Lord, and he rules over the nations. All the rich of the earth will feast and worship. All who go down to the dust will kneel before him. Those who cannot keep themselves alive, posterity will serve him. Future generations will be told about the Lord. They will proclaim his righteousness to a people yet unborn, for he has done it.
All right, we have 20 minutes. Where are we at, gentlemen?
That was awesome.
So was that Claire reading the psalm?
It was. That was from the Claire and Brett stream. Brett convinced Claire to read all of Psalm 22, and I couldn't resist clipping it. Thank you, Claire.
Huh. Well, I guess I'll go see her reaction. Let's see.
Oh, you pretty much saw it. Nothing afterwards. I don't think she connected it at all. Maybe when, sometimes, how like you watch debates and this guy has to know he lost the debate. And I remember, I think it was R.C. Sproles, or maybe it was his teacher who said, some nights when a guy puts his head on a pillow, that's when it dawns on him that he lost the debate. And this wasn't a debate. I'm just using this as an example, that maybe, this was something that maybe will resonate with her at some point. Who knows?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think, Christ calls us to do, is just plant seeds,
Mm-hmm.
It's not my responsibility of, since I'm a Calvinist, right? I mean, I believe that it's his job and his choice on whether he decides to reveal things or not. So makes it a lot easier to evangelize.
Well, we have some breaking news in the corner because there is a brand new channel at Everett Vroon, and Everett has dropped 2 videos. So I want to pop in and take a look at the start of his introduction video.
Yeah.
Hi there. My name's Everett. I often go by EJ. I answer that later. I'm a longtime helper, a follower of Jesus, a sinner saved by grace. I was introduced to this little corner of the internet by a friend of mine. I connected not so much with Jordan Peterson, but I did like Paul and how he explained Peterson. And I'm talking about Paul Vanderklay, of course. I resonated a bit with Pajot and Rebecca and some of their videos, but I was more attracted to the friendship and connection that Paul had with Jonathan and John, especially the way they tried to understand and support one another, and how they were kind of just playful and friendly with each other. I found that very attractive. I watched a lot of Paul's videos. I loved how he had random people or randos on his channel. And I felt like each person got to experience the gift of being seen and heard. I started seeing other characters, guys like Chad and Grim Grizz, and then Neil and Mark D. Parker. These characters really put themselves out there. And I had deep respect for that. I began to comment as a way of coming out of the lurk. Then I took the step of joining Paul's Estuary livestream. And that was on February 5th of this year. I'm just going to share a little screen with you here. And so this was the one that I got to be a part of with Terry Murphy and some other people. And of course, I've been toying with posting a YouTube video as a way of putting myself out there. Watching Neil's video with Scott, that was a few days ago now.
Shout out, Scott.
That fellow they call I Am Driving. I thought to myself, I've got to find a TLC entry point. Scott's helping Neil with a project he's doing. Scott's kind of interested in some things that maybe I'm not as interested in, gardening, that sort of thing, but I just love it that he lets people into his life. And I think for me, that's the next part of what I need to do is kind of break out of the box. In the Barbie movie, the chair of Mattel was trying to make everything better and told Barbie to get back in the box. And I certainly don't look like her, but I don't want to get back in the box. So Vendonk has been kind enough to train me to be an estuary leader. And so slowly on, I've been building some skills at doing that. And what I'd love to do, and I think I'll make another video about this, is I'd like to kind of marry the two ideas of 12-step recovery and estuary. Because most people, in my experience, even if they maybe have a habit that they're trying to break, some area of their life where willpower is failing them, I mean, 12-step groups are the last house on the block. And so most people are not going to go there, but they might go to an estuary. At the same time, I think there's a lot of folks in estuaries that probably have been in 12-step groups. And so I'd love to do an estuary themed, a 12-step themed estuary group and just see how that goes. Maybe if I had a campfire and a camp out, maybe Grizz and some other guys, Skankenstein, maybe would like that. all I know is that I have to do what Mark Parker, Scott, and many before them have done, and just get out there and get some skin in the game. So I'm really excited about doing.
Well, Everett, you certainly have skin in the game now. Channel name is at Everett Vroon. And his second video, he calls it Forestry or Forest, Friends of Recovery Estuary. And I think Forest is a really fun acronym. And I just thought it was...
I met him. He came down to the conference that I met PBK at. We had a church conference, and he was in one of the breakout sessions. And it was about Calvin Seminary, and I was there kind of to be a voice, if potential, if they needed somebody to share their experience or whatever. And when he found out how they're doing it all online, and it's kind of as you have time to do it, Everett's comment was, he looks up and he goes, "This is kind of punk rock." I'm like, I like this guy.
It is kind of punk rock.
I just had the thought, like, is the TLC the new MySpace?
No, I think MySpace is more fake, don't you?
Yeah.
No, I mean, no. MySpace wasn't fake when I was on it. Maybe you guys had fake spaces. I had a real space.
No, but you put a persona up, kind of like Facebook, where it's like, this is what I want people to see.
What do you think this is? This is pure persona right now.
Yeah,
I've got a shadow on the wall. You can see my shadow. I'm so down here.
Listen, when people say that we have parasocial relationships with each other and stuff like that, I'm like, I don't think that's entirely true, because we engage each other, and it's really hard to pretend to be somebody in this space any more than you have to if you were to pretend in real life when you're interacting with someone. You know what I mean? Whereas MySpace and Facebook, these are things that you cultivate very carefully. You're not putting the deleted behind scenes. You're putting the highlight reels up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I track with you.
Yeah. I mean, so maybe MySpace was the wrong digital age. But what was the age where, like, people just put up all sorts of just random stuff all the time, and like that was like common, like kind of like blogger, but it was still videos, like video blogging thing. I don't know.
I mean, that was my experience of MySpace.
Yeah, I feel like we've gone that way.
Well, and there's a level where, like, everything around you, if everything feels manufactured, then like the chaos has to come out like somewhere. And there's a little bit of like TLC, punk rock, early internet energy that it just is like, just release the chaos. Like, you're going to cry on screen. Okay, that's okay. You can cry on screen. Like, you're going to get in a fight with somebody about whether or not Paul Vanderkay is the leader. Okay, yeah, you can do that. You can get in a fight about that. Like, and they just, I don't know, stuff happens.
No, you're right, though. There is a little bit of foolish transparency in a lot of people's videos. It's like they're almost unaware of some of the stuff that they're putting out there. Like, I don't know, sometimes if I'm bored and there's nothing to watch, I'll click through some videos and it'll be a Karen screaming and crying about something that she's outraged about. And I'm thinking, you put this on the internet? Like, crazy. So you might be right.
Teo, you have 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes to show your face. And by show your face, I mean not show your face, but come on screen, say some outrageous things, and then it's going to be over. So
that's my boy T.
Like, earlier you said that this is too serious. Well, it's not serious anymore, and you're being called out. And I know you're free. You're on your porch with your feet up on that little table outside, and you're just chilling. So come say the outrageous thing. We need it. It's Saturday morning. I can't do this without you, Teo. Noah's friendship framing. Oh, speaking of Noah. Okay, somebody vamp. I got to go to Noah Foxman right now.
What Teo, what part of the UK are you in?
The cowardly part.
Ooh, ooh, ouch.
On the carpet, T. Come on, bro.
Yeah. I want to know more about Teo. I want to hear.
Good luck, man of international mystery.
Secret mystery man.
Okay.
He said he said he cut all his dreads off. I think he said that.
There you go. There you go.
I'm not gonna lie, I was not going to, but then you called me a coward, and the man ego thing was like, no, I'm not a coward. You can't call me a chicken. So
best trick in the book.
If it's not broken,
Can't
don't
believe
fix
that
it.
worked.
Oh, you have no idea how fragile my self-esteem is. But I was gonna put I was gonna click X and not come on when Olsen was implying I was gonna try get to know more about me. No one does that, dude. No, that's not allowed.
Okay, Olsen, fire off questions quick. You got 8 minutes. What do you want to know about Teo? This is your shot.
What part of the UK are you in?
Currently in Manchester, north of
Manchester?
the UK.
Are
Yes,
you
sir.
Manchester United fan or?
No, sir, absolutely not. Definitely not. But I'm not currently. My team aren't doing so good, so I'm not interested in talking football as much as it's my favorite thing to talk about. It's too painful to a subject to even approach currently. So, not a United fan. I'm a Chelsea fan, and Americans have messed up my team. So, it's still it's a very sore wound that I'm still dealing with. So, any other question that's not related?
Sorry, you're coming through all pixelated for me. Sorry, I can't.
That's fine. That's perfect. Let's move on from the football. But I will say I've been a fan of you. As you know, I'm in the comments on Chris Howard show, and your presence on there has been fascinating. Your back and forth with Claire is absolute cinema, as the kids say. So I have enjoyed your introduction into the TLC as part of the. I don't know what wave we're on now. Wave 6, wave 7,
Wave 4.
Wave 4. Okay, this is 4th year of the LARP Congression. Something I don't know.
No, the waves and the LARP ingressions are they don't line up.
Oh, they don't.
So Midwestuary was the end of wave 3.
And where did Midwestuary line up with the LARP Congression?
The 6th LARP ingression?
This conversation right here, Olsen, don't send this to your wife because she is gonna think you're in a cult.
Listen, the general told me that I needed to ingress, and I am going to ingress into the real world, and I will be unstoppable.
But to give you Olsen a little bit of I've been around. I was part of an earlier wave. During the lockdown wave, I was part of the lockdown wave of DLC participant.
Hey, I can't hear anything you're saying at all.
Oh,
really?
Okay.
I think it's Olsen. I think Olsen because CW said that he could hear Grim Grizz and the Assassin clip line, and I can hear Teo fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely could be me.
It's the basement too far away from the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I got 3 bars
And
on my
also
Wi-Fi.
that's fine, Olsen. We'll have a better conversation when the internet's algorithms allow for.
Yeah,
Brett
I think the
also-
algo is trying to keep us apart, because if like our powers combine, we could form Captain somebody or some such.
I was gonna make a call back to Black Pirate Jesus, but it's not worth approaching that subject again.
I mean, Black Pirate Jesus has just climbing the ranks of my favorite Jesuses. It's insane how high Black Pirate Jesus is in all my favorite Jesuses.
Like for me as well, it's definitely top 10. But there are a few more Jesuses that it has to get to even the top 2. It's never gonna get the top 1, but it's got a chance at top 5 potentially.
I agree with that. Do you guys have favorite Jesuses?
I don't even know if I should answer that.
You can just say Calvinist Jesus. That's fine. I mean, I figure that's your favorite one.
It's funny. I was telling somebody, I was like, I hate having to use the word Calvinist, but sometimes it's just the easiest, quickest way to give people an explanation as to what I believe. So that's the label that we get given. There's a meme. It's a Jeopardy meme, and it says, "What is the one thing that can be after thoroughly explaining it, most people agree with?" And then the answer is Calvinism. What is Calvinism? And I thought that was hilarious. It's like if you actually unpack it and explain it thoroughly and everything, people are like, "Oh, I get that. Yeah. Sovereignty. Yeah. Oh, Calvinism? No.
Brett, I know we don't have much time because I came in late, but I do want to a quick review of your conversation with Claire, because many people actually that's not true. Very few people have dared to enter the Claire arena, and you braved that space.
I was inspired by Scott. I saw Scott had a couple of interactions with her, and I'm like, man, he's the man.
Scott is just inspiring everyone.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Okay, final thing. You guys want simulation or translation? And I need a timestamp within 6 minutes.
Sim.
Okay, simulation, and then someone that's not Teo needs to give me a timestamp within 7 minutes and 31 seconds.
5 minutes and 56 seconds.
Okay, 5 minutes, 56 seconds. We are going to end with a Q&A video from none other than President Foxman. And he does this really fun thing where, okay, I'm at 5:54. I apologize. I can't get to 5:56. He does this fun thing where you can just ask him any question. You can he has like a Google form. You just fill it out, any question, and then he's going to like respond to your question and put some video game over it. What game is this he put on? I don't know this one actually, but this is when does faking it till you make it fail?
On day one, that you have to live into that experience. And there's a lot of other ways that this idea can be applicable to things that we talk about. I think there's a bit of large language model, ChatGPT, in the way that these models are also simulating. They're simulating the experience of connecting with a real person, but they don't contain the grit or the development or the real learning. That it's a BS machine, right? It's BSing you as much as it can, and that's what it's made to do. And so, like at the same time, as you are trying to emulate, also recognize when other people are doing the simulation, or devices are being used. Sometimes the simulation is useful and it's good, but there are many times in which when you separate something from the context in which it was grown in, it can be a curse instead of a blessing. So that's all I have to share. Thank you all for joining. If you have a question that you would like to ask or have me answer, please put it down in the comments, or there's a form down in the description. I read through those, and I made a video on every single one of them that I've gotten, so I will try my best to keep up that streak. But thank you all, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Have a good one.
That's awesome.
You too.
Okay, YouTube. Who has a question? I'm going to type the question right now. We need a question quick. Like we got.
Who's your vice president?
You want him to make a 6-minute video about who his vice president is?
Yes, that's an important question. I second that. That's the most important question.
Who's his chief of staff? We need to know what this presidential cabinet looks like.
Okay,
absolutely.
Secretary of former defense, now of war. Housing and urban development. Yeah.
Energy.
Question. Department of Energy. Yeah. Transportation.
I'm fine with just knowing who the vice president is. That'll tell me all I need to know about the cabinet.
Oh no, sorry. I typed who's your vice president, who's your chief of staff, what does the presidential cabinet look like? Do you have a Department of Energy? And then the name is the Ethan Kahi show featuring Olsen, Brett, and Teo.
Should go Brett Olson, Teo. You know, alphabetical.
I already submitted the form.
No, that spells bot.
Yeah, no, we can't do that. We can't do that.
Good catch.
At Chris Howard 8473.